Sarah Michelle Gellar was born on April 14, 1977, in New York City, to Arthur Gellar and Rosalind Greenfield. Raised as the only child of a single mother after her parents' divorce when she was just 7 years old, Sarah's childhood was marked by resilience and ambition. Her mother, determined to give her daughter every opportunity possible, enrolled her in figure skating and taekwondo, and constantly encouraged her to dream big, even as she juggled multiple jobs to support them. Sarah's entry into the entertainment world came early. At the age of 4, she was discovered by a talent agent while eating at a Manhattan restaurant. That encounter led to her first role in a Burger King commercial, which famously sparked controversy, and a lawsuit from McDonald's ironically placing Sarah in the headlines before she could even spell her own name properly. From there, she began landing modeling jobs, commercials, and small acting roles, laying the foundation for what would become a remarkable career in film and television. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Sarah was steadily working in television, but it was her role as Kendall Hart on the soap opera All My Children that marked her first major breakthrough. Playing the rebellious daughter of Erica Kane, she earned critical acclaim and eventually won a Daytime Emmy Award in 1995 for Outstanding Younger Actress in a Drama Series. This success brought Sarah both attention and pressure, especially as rumors of behind-the-scenes tension with co-star Susan Lucci fueled tabloid headlines. Still, her performance marked her as a serious young actress with the potential for much bigger roles. Her life changed forever in 1996, when she landed the role that would define her career, Buffy Summers in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. When Sarah auditioned for the role, she originally read for Cordelia Chase, but producers quickly realized she embodied the perfect balance of strength and vulnerability that the character of Buffy required. The show, created by Joss Whedon, was more than just a supernatural teen drama. It was a pop culture phenomenon that would inspire a generation and redefine what a female lead could be on television. Buffy wasn't just fighting vampires, she was battling high school, heartbreak, and existential crisis, all while saving the world. Sarah's portrayal of Buffy was fierce, emotional, and layered. Her ability to anchor an action-heavy series while delivering heartfelt performances was critical to the show's success. Running for 7 seasons from 1997 to 2003, Buffy the Vampire Slayer earned a cult following and became a feminist icon. Gellar's work on the show won her multiple awards and the adoration of millions of fans. However, the show's grueling shooting schedule took a toll on her personal life and well-being. Sarah carried much of the series on her shoulders and often expressed how emotionally and physically draining the role was. By the time the series ended, she was ready to move on and reclaim her own identity beyond Buffy. Simultaneously, Sarah began to build a strong presence in film. She starred in several successful movies, including I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream 2, which solidified her status as a 90s scream queen. In 1999, she showed her range with the provocative role of Catherine Mertuil in Cruel Intentions. Opposite her future husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., the film showcased a darker, more seductive side of Sarah, proving she could take on complex, adult roles beyond teen horror. Her bold performance in Cruel Intentions remains one of the most talked about of her film career. Sarah and Freddie met while filming I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it wasn't until a few years later that they began dating. Their relationship blossomed quietly, away from the limelight, and they married in a private ceremony in Mexico in 2002. In an industry known for short-lived romances, their love story became one of Hollywood's most enduring. Sarah and Freddie built a life together based on mutual respect, privacy, and shared values. They welcomed their first child, Charlotte, in 2009, followed by a son, Rocky, in 2012. After Buffy, Sarah's career took on a different shape. She starred in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies alongside Freddie, taking on the role of Daphne, which introduced her to a younger generation of fans. Though critically mixed, the films were commercially successful and contributed to her family-friendly image. Sarah also headlined several other films, such as The Grudge, which was a box office hit and demonstrated her lasting appeal in the horror genre. Despite her film success, Sarah often struggled to find projects that matched the cultural impact of Buffy. She was selective in her roles, preferring quality over quantity, and choosing to prioritize her growing family over constant work. Throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, Sarah made sporadic returns to television. She starred in Ringer and later in The Crazy Ones, opposite the late Robin Williams. While neither show reached the legendary status of Buffy, they demonstrated her continued dedication to her craft and her willingness to experiment with different genres. Working with Robin Williams was a particularly special experience for her, as she deeply admired his talent and humanity. His unexpected death in 2014 left a profound impact on her, as it did on so many others who loved him. Behind the scenes, Sarah was also transforming into an entrepreneur and advocate. In 2015, she co-founded Foodsters, a food crafting brand that aimed to bring healthier, fun baking kits into family kitchens. It was a passion project for Sarah, combining her love for cooking, parenting, and promoting healthier lifestyles. She also became increasingly involved in charitable work, especially with organizations focused on children's health, cancer research, and empowering women. Sarah faced challenges in balancing her public persona with her deeply private nature. She never sought out fame for fame's sake, and often expressed discomfort with the invasive nature of celebrity culture. As a result, she maintained a relatively low profile compared to many of her peers, opting for a quieter, more grounded life centered on family and selective creative pursuits. She understood the pressure of growing up in front of cameras and remained protective of her children, shielding them from the spotlight she once knew all too well. As time went on, the legacy of Buffy the Vampire Slayer only grew. Sarah became a pop culture icon, not only for her performance, but also for what the character represented: female strength, independence, and vulnerability, all wrapped into one. However, the show's legacy became complicated in later years, as allegations of toxic workplace behavior and abuse surfaced against creator Joss Whedon. Sarah, along with several co-stars, expressed support for those who came forward while distancing herself from the controversy. She made it clear that while she was proud of her role and what it stood for, she did not want to be permanently tied to the man behind it. Her statement, filled with grace and integrity, was praised for its strength and honesty. In recent years, Sarah has made small but meaningful returns to the spotlight. She voiced characters in animated series, participated in fan events, and teased possible new projects. Her enduring popularity was clear: fans were still eager to see her on screen, not just for nostalgia, but because of the authenticity and emotional depth she brings to every role. In 2023, she returned to the horror genre with Wolfpack, a supernatural thriller series that allowed her to revisit the themes that made her famous, while bringing a mature and evolved energy to the screen. The project was particularly personal for Sarah, who also served as executive producer, ensuring she had a voice in the creative direction and workplace culture of the set. Despite the changing landscape of Hollywood, Sarah Michelle Gellar remains a beloved figure, respected for her talent, admired for her strength, and appreciated for the dignity with which she's navigated fame. She has become a symbol of endurance and quiet influence, proving that impact is not always measured by headlines or Instagram followers. Her career, marked by iconic performances and thoughtful choices, continues to inspire new generations of performers and fans. Today, Sarah lives a life that reflects her values. She's a devoted wife, loving mother, successful entrepreneur, and thoughtful artist. Her story is one of survival, evolution, and empowerment. Whether she's saving the world on screen or baking with her kids at home, Sarah Michelle Gellar remains a powerful example of how grace, grit, and staying true to oneself can create a lasting legacy. The girl who once wielded a wooden stake to fight vampires has grown into a woman who uses her platform to support, uplift, and create change not just in Hollywood, but far beyond.